Most people are familiar with the story of Hua Mulan, a legendary female warrior of the Song dynasty. China, however, has an even younger heroine. In 280, less than 100 years after the Han dynasty broke into the Three Kingdoms, China was reunified under the rule of the Jin dynasty with its first emperor, Sima Yan, or Emperor Wu. The War of the Eight Princes had just passed, and as you can imagine, rebellions were still rampant. This period of hostilities would however see the feats of an incredible nature. At the age of 13 years old, 3 years younger than Joan of Arc, Xun Guan would lead soldiers into battle and overturn a siege. Xun Guan was born in a family of high social status. Her father, Xun Song, was a descendant of Xun Yu, a famous advisor to warlord Cao Cao, a key figure at the end of the Han dynasty. Xun Song was a second-grade official, possessing the title of Pingnan Jiangjun, or General who pacifies the south. He was stationed at the town of Wanchang. From a very early age, his daughter, the little Xun Guan, showed no interest in studying nor in knitting, preferring instead fighting and competing, roles assumed by young boys exclusively. Impressed by her apparent talent and determination, her parents recruited martial arts masters to instruct her in fighting. This was of course a rare practice for the times, as female warriors were unheard of. It is reported that by the age of 10, Xun Guan was able to skillfully shoot from horseback. The relative peace in the region would not last. In 317, when Xun Guan was 13 years old, a revolt broke out in Wanchang. One of her father's subordinates, Du Zeng, had joined the rebel organization and planned to besiege the city and overthrow her father, Xun Song. With an army of 2,000 rebel soldiers, Du Zeng surrounded Wanchang, in which only half that number of soldiers were stationed under Xun Song. Soon, food supplies in the town began to run worryingly low. To agree on what to do, Xun Song assembled his main officials for a meeting. One of them estimated that food reserves would not last for more than a month. As the garrison was too small, any hope of breaking the siege would require exterior reinforcements. In the nearby city of Xiangcheng, a friend of Xun Guan's father, General Shi Lan, was garrisoned with his men, but in order to contact him for help, a dangerous breakthrough mission would have to be undertaken in order to escape the besieged city. No officer, however, volunteered for the perilous task, and hope faded. 2 days later, as more and more people were preparing to give up, a 13-year-old Xun Guan stepped forward. If no one would go on the mission, then she would. Her father was reluctant at first, but in the emergency of the situation, he finally agreed. Xun Guan observed that the enemy lacked vigilance during the nighttime. The breakthrough mission would have to take place then. To carry the message to General Shi Lan, a group of soldiers was assembled, with young Xun Guan leading them. She equipped herself with a longbow and a waistband sword, and that night they left the city. Xun Guan, guiding the forces, successfully broke through the enemy encampment. Many of the men escorting her died during the skirmish, and it is not known if any survived at all. Nonetheless, the young girl made it, and continued riding. She crossed the mountains on horseback, reaching Xiangcheng in the afternoon of the third day. There, she could meet with General Shi Lan, her father's friend. Although astonished at the situation, he was touched by the determination of Xun Guan. In a meeting, she presented the situation to him. After analyzing the case at hand, Shi Lan concluded that his forces, about 500 riders, would not be enough to deal with the situation. However, another option was left. An additional ally, the powerful General Zhou Fang, who bore the title of Leader of Court Gentlemen of the South, could be contacted. Xun Guan wrote a letter to him, explaining that if Wanchang fell, the rebels would certainly try to attack nearby regions as well, and signed it with her father's name. After receiving the letter, General Zhou Fang was convinced and agreed to help. He dispatched his son, Zhou Fu, to lead 3,000 elite men. The combined forces then marched back to Wanchang. The allied army now counted about 4,500 men, 1,000 inside the city and the rest outside, under Zhou Fu, Shi Lan and Xun Guan. The rebels were now attacked from two sides, both in front and in the back, and were rapidly crushed. Duzang escaped, but he would never be a threat to the authorities again. The city of Wancheng was saved. Governor Xun Song deeply thanked Generals Shi Lan and Zhou Fang, who in turn praised his daughter. Shi Lan said, "General Xun Song, you have a tigress of a daughter, who truly is brave and a good strategist. All this is frankly praiseworthy." Zhou Fang added, "Wancheng is no longer under siege, and the people are saved. Xun Guan's work was a key element, this must not be forgotten. She must be remembered as the main savior of Wancheng." He then turned to the young girl. "I toast to you." Following these events, it is possible that Xun Guan got married to General Zhou Fang's son, Zhou Fu, although this is not certain. Unfortunately, all traces of her disappear after this. Although Duzang's revolt was not an event that could have drastically changed the course of history, it gave the opportunity to Xun Guan to shine. In the following decades, the Jin dynasty would continue to rule over most of China proper, except for the north, that would eventually fragment into a multitude of states. Thank you for watching my video, I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or requests, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below.